OK, ladies and gentlemen, my final guests this evening are the biggest band in the world right now. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Coldplay.
Look at the stars, look how they shine for you, and everything you do, they were all yellow.
What do you think of that? What do you think of that version?
It's better.
Is that weird hearing other people do versions of your stuff?
Yeah, about 4 years ago was the first time in Exeter there was a karaoke competition. I got a text and someone won with a Coldplay song.
Which Coldplay song did they win with?
Everyone only ever sings Yellow.
Yellow is the one.
We're a one-hit wonder.
No, you're not. You've had 3 hits.
People wonder how we had 1 hit.
You've had at least 3 hits, haven't you?
I think we've had about 2.5.
OK. Hey, what a great year it's been for you guys. I imagine, anyway. I think it has been fantastic, because the album came out, and I know you were worried about the album, because you're a real worry, aren't you? You've got to stop worrying for a start. But the album came out, right? It was a huge hit for you all over the world. You've been touring, you've done... What have been the highlights of this last year for all of you?
Glastonbury was great.
Glastonbury, yeah.
I think just getting an album out is an achievement in itself.
Why so? Why is that a
It's
difficult
like getting
thing?
an erection. It's hard, but... It's hard to do, but it really...
Is everything all right at home, Chris? Is he choosing this forum to discuss penile dysfunction? Obviously not. And you were at Live Aid, of course. That must have been quite something, wasn't it?
We were kind of shit in Live Aid, but it was a good day.
Will you stop being down on yourself?
I'm not being
He
down.
must drive you guys nuts that he's always down on himself. You're always down on yourself. Stop it. You
I'm
were
not-
great at Live Aid.
I think we're brilliant.
You were great at Live Aid.
Yeah, we were okay. It was good, but we were kind of supporting the Beatles.
Why do you mean that? You mean because at the beginning because Paul McCartney came at the end?
Yeah, you know, I think it's like I'm sure it's called the Graveyard Shift or something, but they had U2 and the Beatles, and then someone had to...
Sgt. Pepper. Well,
Yeah.
no, they wanted a genuinely huge band to come out who could follow that. That's
Yeah.
the way to look at it.
Well, ABBA had split up, so...
I bet you could do... Have you ever done an ABBA cover?
We tried... Well, we've been trying to play the Madonna song because we love it, you know, Hung Up.
Hung Up is good,
Which
isn't
is
it?
a kind of an ABBA song.
Yeah, it is. Well, it's based on
It's
that,
sampled.
isn't it? OK, when you were a young band, when you guys were first together, how long have you been together now as a band?
74 years.
Right, OK. So
Almost
back...
10. Almost 10 years.
Almost 10
So
years.
We split up once because we had an argument, but then we made up and...
OK, what was the argument about?
Will slept with my aunt. No, she didn't.
For a minute there, I was really getting excited. I can see you with that.
We had an argument because I wanted us to be called Four Puffs and a Piano.
And you couldn't find a piano?
And Guy said it was already taken.
You were called Starfish, is that right?
Yeah.
For one show, we had a band
It was
for,
legendary
for a
show.
while, and we had gigs booked, but we didn't actually have a name. And,
We were called Pectorals for a bit. And...
Pectorals, like a boys' band.
Yeah, with
well,
the Z.
we were never called that though. That was.
Well, we were
that was
kind
a
of Louis Walshing them.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of Louis Walsh, you know, G4 are doing a version of... I think they're doing a version of Yellow.
Really?
On their new album. Have you heard their version of Yellow?
No.
Are you familiar with the phenomenon that is G4?
Yes.
Would you like to hear a little bit?
Yeah, let's do it.
OK, this is G4 doing homage to Coldplay. Frankly, I think they do it slightly better. I'll be honest with you. I know it's a relative low. All right, let's have a listen. This is G4.
I drew a line for you. Oh, what a thing to do. And it was all yellow.
Now, what do you think of that?
It's incredible.
It's outselling Madonna at the moment. It's in the midweek charts. It's doing
It's
really
funny
well.
because we're doing a cover of Chico Time. It's for #1 Christmas.
You know what? That would be fantastic. It's like cross-pollination. That's what's going
It's
on.
a lot sadder than his version. It's less kid.
Now, here's the thing. People don't really know who anyone is in the band apart from you, Chris. No disrespect, fellas, but you essentially overpaid session men to a lot of the world. Not to real fans like me. I know.
You can be a real
No, yes. One of my nicknames. Now, listen. All that is, though, is you're a vital part, but it's because, you know, your names are very normal names. We always remember the name of the thing, but you've got regular names, OK, you know. So I was thinking, and I'm going to do this with all my favourite bands. I've got Franz Ferdinand on my radio show tomorrow. I'm going to do the same to them. Don't feel that I'm picking on you, all right? But, like the Spice Girls, we all knew them. We wouldn't remember their names if they weren't Scary, Posh, Baby and Wibbly, or whatever they were called, right?
Sporty.
OK, now, listen. Coldplay, we take Coldplay, we spin it off. All right? Okay, so Chris, we start with you, and you're like this. Fair play.
Okay, because of fair trade,
Because
I like
of fair
it.
trade, fair play, okay? Guy, I think you're the best looking one in the band, I'll be honest with you.
You've told me many times.
and sometimes worryingly so.
He's a good looking boy, he's a very attractive one. Foreplay, okay? What do you think, all right? Okay? All right?
He always tells you that.
Johnny, you ready for this? Either child's play, right? Or we throw him a swerve, coleslaw. Coleslaw. Coleslaw.
What does that mean?
Nothing. Will, rain stopped play. How about that? Because you look a bit like Freddie Flintoff.
That's a very well.
Or use the cold thing, cold feet. Any interest?
I think this is brilliant. Do you think this will make the Heat magazine?
I sincerely hope not. Hey, magazines, just reminded me, you're in Q magazine this month, okay? Q magazine. There's, I don't know, there's some, I think it's a Louis Walsh discovery on the cover, but inside, there's an interview, and you're being interviewed, Chris is being interviewed by some fat bloke off the TV, okay? Ricky Gervais, right? And it's a fun interview, but look at that picture there, that's just wrong. For a start, you're about 8 foot tall from the look of things, right? And I get the feeling that they photoshopped that hand in and you're resting on something.
It was, he was actually coming.
He means tonight, but he's otherwise engaged.
I said I had it written on my hand, extras, because of his DVD.
Well, that's
So,
very
'cause
kind
I
of
know
you.
you want to, you'll try and plug our album X Factor, but but extras is what we want to.
You don't have to plug anything, though.
So-
Your album, how many copies is... it's called X and Y, right?
46.
How many copies? 46 copies so far.
So far.
No.
And five of them got returned in Woolworths.
All I know, I don't know how many that album sold, but I know altogether your albums have sold somewhere in the region of 24 million. That's... no, seriously, stop. Don't start saying that's nothing or we don't take
No, it's
count.
great, it is great.
That is incredible. And I'm sure you had no way of imagining that you would have that sort of reach, that sort of success.
You still really have no way of imagining that many people. I mean,
It's a weird thought, isn't it?
it's more than the number of
If you were
people
to
who
pile
live in
them
Wales,
up in
you
one
know.
room and see how big that pile would be, it might make more sense.
Yeah, we could room it.
Yeah, but you can't imagine, you can't visualise that kind of crowd. Which is the biggest crowd you've ever played to? Would that have been Live 8? Was that the biggest audience? You know, actually in one field,
It
sort
might
of
have
thing.
been.
Yeah, definitely.
It was one of them, yeah.
And how did that feel? Did it feel different to when you have like Glastonbury, which is still a huge crowd, but...
Live 8 was great. It was amazing.
Yellow was your breakthrough song, really, wasn't it? I mean, that was a fantastic song to do, and everyone was saying to me, you've got to hear this new band, they're a great new band. You know, that happens every so often. Someone will come and say, here's a band you've got to listen to, and Yellow was the track that people came to me with and said, you should listen to it. Where do you write this? When you write a song like Yellow, which means something, the yellow of the title, is that something you argue about? Is it something you spend a long time honing away and finessing?
Well, Will was playing PlayStation, and Guy and John were drinking, I think, and I was sat on. This was in Wales. This is a long story, so I'll cut to the end. And that was
Give us the full story, it's okay?
So I was sitting writing a song, and it had 3 chords in it, and I was missing a 2-syllable word, and it was either going to be Bogner or Yellow. so I chose, because there was, you know, you take inspiration when we first were writing. We used to write in our kitchen in this flat we lived in, and so there would be lots of songs